I'm the fairy queen, you know it. Don't hate on a bitch, don't hate on a bitch, don't hate on a bitch, don't hate on a bitch. Yeah, you nigga on my dick, nigga on my dick. One little hit, he won't get a sip. Hey guys, it's Mimi and I'm the owner and creator of GiraSoul Juice. Today I'm going to do an introduction video just so y'all could understand a little bit more about me and GiraSoul Juice. So I wrote down some questions. I have 7 questions. The number 7 is a divine number of completion. It's just been a number throughout my life that has just felt very connected to 7. So anyways, I have 7 questions that I'm going to answer. Also, while I answer these questions, I'm going to be making some pieces. Stay tuned and you'll learn more about these pieces towards the end of the video. So the first question is, what is GiraSoul Juice? GiraSoul, which in Spanish without the U means sunflower. As you can see, I love sunflowers. If you've ever seen like a really big sunflower in person, they're very like fierce, kind of intimidating, very strong, just in your face and beautiful, and they can thrive through almost anything. I love sunflowers, so that's a part of my logo. I added the U in GiraSoul. My business is very Afrocentric, geared towards the Black experience, the Pan-African experience all over the world. So if you look closely at the logo, you'll see that there's a fist and a sunflower behind the fist. I don't even remember how it came about. It just came to me. It was just like natural for me to name it GiraSoul Jewels. And GiraSoul Jewels are handmade pieces of jewelry. It started with hair pieces. So I locked my hair up. I used to have just big natural hair out. I had went natural in 2012 is when I went natural, and that's when I started, you know, just wearing my hair out and really embracing my natural curl. When I graduated North Carolina Central University, Eagle Pride, I got a job offer in Houston. I was a Spanish major, so I moved to Houston and was teaching 4th grade math and science in Spanish. So that was a very beautiful experience. When I moved out there, I noticed that I'm supposed to be making this I'm supposed to be making this bracelet. But when I moved out Houston, it was just so humid, y'all. Like, the humidity was off the chain and the heat was just crazy. It was 4th grade, so I would be outside a lot. Recess, before and after school. That heat was so crazy. First of all, I used to wear like a full face of makeup. I definitely stopped doing that. The heat would just make everything just melt off. I was like, I cannot be doing it. I stopped wearing makeup. I had been thinking for a while that I wanted to lock my hair at that point. When the classes actually started in August, I had already went to my loctician out there and I was like, listen, and at this point I didn't even know much about locks. Growing up, yes, a lot of people had locks. Nobody in my family had locks, so I didn't really know much about that. I just knew it was something that I wanted. So I was like, it's time for me to start this new journey. I had also was just in a different place with like a really long relationship I was in, for almost 5-year relationship. I was just ready for a change, so I locked my hair. I just always been me. I was like, there's no way I'm about to just go to the beauty supply store and get the same little hair pieces that everybody has. I was like, you know what? Fuck it, let me just make something. I'm just make something. Everything that you see now, like these hair pieces I have in now, they didn't look like this at all. When I first was like, let me make some hair pieces, I was just learning as I went. I went and got some tools that I thought I needed. I was in my apartment with a hammer and a cutting board, y'all, and like a hole punch. I didn't know what I was doing. After a while, things just started falling into place. I was at the Michaels store one day. One of the associates that worked there, he was like, go to this place, you know, you'll find more beads. Like, there's so many more beads there and I think you'll really like it. I was like, okay, cool. So shout out to him. So I went to the new place. I fell in love. Like, there was aisles and aisles of beads, and back then, like, literally I didn't know anything about the different quality of beads and natural beads and all that. I just knew that he sent me to bead heaven. And the more I went back to the store, I was noticing that strands of beads had names on them, like maybe hematite or chrysocolla, turquoise, amethyst, and some of these names I had heard of and a lot of them I hadn't heard of. So I was like, okay, what is this? So anyways, I go home and I look up these names. I start researching these names and I find out that all of these stones and beads that they had in this store, Maze Beads, were all natural crystals, all from the earth. So that was very interesting to me, especially because at this point in my life, I was just being more aware of nature and all the divine beauty of nature. So then that's when I started to learn about the healing properties of the jewels. Question 2 is, what was your inspiration? I just knew I needed something different. I was in a very terrible mental space. Very, very terrible. Had nights where I even contemplated suicide. I was just not in a good space mentally. I was seeing a therapist in Houston. I remember one day she was just like, maybe some of this anxiety and depression, your life is in balance. And for those of y'all who know me, you know I'm a Libra, so life is all about balance. And when we're not in balance, it's just chaotic. So she was just like, you know, what do you enjoy? What do you like to do in your free time? And I literally didn't even have an answer. Like, I was like, dang, what makes me happy? Like, I was literally every day, I was, you know, just doing things that were not feeding my soul. At that point, I was just on a mission. I was like, I have to get my mental health together. And if my therapist is saying I need to find something that I enjoy doing, then I need to find something. It was a really scary, dark place that I was in. Like I said, I decided to lock my hair and I started making hair jewelry. Back then, my jewelry looked nothing like it is now. I was selling bracelets for like $15, 2 for $20. I was really digging myself in a hole financially, but it was just such a spiritual journey that it was all worth it at the end. So some of the things that do make GiraSoul jewels special is, one, I only use natural materials, natural beads. Everything's natural from the earth. And not only that, but they all have different healing properties. And that's actually something I learned kind of the hard way, actually. People say that they have different healing properties, but I don't think at the beginning, I wasn't really 100% like, okay, I believe this. What happened? One day I was just shopping at Michael's, and this is back when I was still at Michael's. I wasn't fully at the new crystal bead heaven. So I was in Michael's shopping through beads, and I was with my friend at the time and her mother. And first of all, this bracelet, I love this design. So yeah, we're in there shopping and I'm just going through the different beads or whatever. And I was like, I'm loving this coral. And I'm just touching all over it, feeling all over it. I passed it to my friend. She's like, oh, so beautiful. The mom is like, yes, I love it. Da, da, da. We're just loving this bright red coral so much. After we left the Michaels, we went to get something to eat. And then we go back home and I'm making jewelry before I go to bed. I create a couple of pieces, a couple of jewelry pieces. And remember, when we were at the store, both my friend and her mom were touching on the beads, just like I was. Like, they were just so pretty, so vibrant. We eventually go to sleep or whatever. We wake up the next day. I was like, yo. I had like 3 or 4 crazy bad dreams, like terrible nightmares. It was just so vivid. Like I said, I had like 3 or 4 really bad dreams, but the one that I remember to this day is I was in some type of house or something, and there was a man there, and apparently he was like my lover in this dream. He was mad about something I did, so he takes like a pitchfork for, you know, fireplaces or whatever, and it has all these ridges on it. So he picks it up and he's like, I'm about to stuff this up your vagina. And he literally takes whatever the pitchfork is and it goes right up. And it's like the worst dream I ever had in my life. The next day I woke up, I'm like, dang. I was like, what was that about? My friend eventually wakes up and I was like, hey girl, I was like, how'd you sleep? She was like, I had some really bad dreams. I was like, for real? I was like, I did too. And I'm like, well, tell me about yours. So she starts telling me about her dreams, and then I'm like, well, hold up. I was like, okay, that's crazy. She was like, yeah, it was like 3 or 4 of them. In my head, I'm not really thinking too much about it because it's just the 2 of us. You know what I'm saying? It's still a little, but I let it go. A few minutes later, her mom wakes up. And she's like, y'all want to go to brunch? She didn't have any conversation with us about any dreams or nothing like that. She's just like, y'all want to go to brunch? And we're like, yeah. So we go to brunch, and then I remember noticing that all of us were on our phones, like waiting for the food to come or whatever. So I was like, in my head, I'm like, well, let me spark up some conversation. I was like, Mama T, how did you sleep? And she was like, you know what? You know what, baby? I had some really terrible nightmares. 3 or 4 back to back to back. I'm like, so then me and my friend, we like, wait, hold up. And then so we're all talking about da da da. I was like, I gotta look up this coral. So I look up the healing properties of coral. Among the other healing properties, which are like creativity and stimulation of ideas and friendship, passion. Also, one of the biggest things that coral is known for, it absorbs negative energy and negativity. That's when I learned that you definitely have to cleanse the energies of the stones. And that's when I really learned that, okay, this is real. Like, this is definitely real. Like, there was no way to explain any of it. And it just, I think that was a very pivotal moment in my life in general, because
I was just so unaware before of so much that's life that we don't even, a lot of us don't experience. Because life is more than just this physical place that we're at now. It's just so much deeper, and it's crazy how everything's so connected. All of the crystals and the way we eat and what we think and all of it is just crazy. And I'm going back to my notes right now so I don't get too off topic. What's special about GiraSoul jewels? Everything's natural. All of the crystals are natural. They all have healing properties. So another thing that makes GiraSoul jewels very special, I really believe in quality. That's a big thing for me, quality. So it's hard for me to show you here, but so basically each bracelet has 6 strands so that they don't get all flimsy and loose on you. They're very firm and strong. So it's kind of hard to show in this video, but I will be having a video soon that explains that a little bit more in depth. I do make sure that every piece is handmade to perfection. I make things that I wear myself, and I don't like things that break easily or lose their form easily. So I tried to incorporate that with GiraSoul jewels, and it definitely turned out beautifully. And that, I guess, brings me to number 4. Who can benefit? Literally every living soul on this planet can benefit from GiraSoul jewels because they are natural. And not only that, but they do have the healing properties, and each stone has a different set of healing properties. All the different crystals have healing properties for days. Anything with, like, if you have blood clots and you want to help with like your blood flow, there's things for that. If you have really bad anxiety, this is a big one for me because I have terrible anxiety. So there are lots of crystals, usually the blue crystals like aquamarine or lapis lazuli, help with anxiety. If you have physical ailments, pain, there are crystals for that. They're literally, everything's from the earth and can heal a different part of you. And I think that's what's just so dope about GiraSoul jewels, is that they are all healing. Okay, so the next question I have is the healing real? Well, I told y'all the coral story, so that's what really solidified to me the healing is real. What kind of added that extra oomph to it? I remember one birthday last September. I was like, I need a birthday piece. I just wanted to make a birthday set for myself. I was like, I need something new. I just want something new. I went to the Maze Beads. Now, when I tell y'all, if you've never been to the store Maze Beads, let me paint the picture for you. It's literally like the Walmart of beads. Aisles and aisles and aisles of natural crystal beads, like for days. I'm in there looking for something new. So I'm going through all these beads, just like, if you know me, you know I'm not a big shopper. I do not like to be in a store shopping. That's just not what I like to do. But when I was in the bead store, I could spend a couple hours. I can spend a couple hours in the bead store waiting for something to call me, and that's what happened. Something just was like, oh, this is us, like, come get us. I look at the tag and it said SUNSTONE. I was like, okay, cool. Like, at this point, I was just getting into like the knowledge of the crystals and all that. When I seen SUNSTONE, I was just like, this is the one. This is the one. It was pink, it was sparkly, it was just, felt exciting, and I was just like, this is it. I can't believe I went home and looked up the SUNSTONE and was like, wow, this is literally for me. It's for Libra, and it's for freedom and liberation when I was just going through such a, especially at that time, at that time I was in a very toxic relationship where I was kind of held hostage. Like, it was just crazy. I didn't have freedom. I didn't have liberation. I wasn't feeling romantic. I was needing all these things that these crystals said they provided. Literally over the course of the next few months, I eventually left that boyfriend. I came all the way back to the East Coast, and I was feeling all these things. I was feeling free. I was feeling liberated. I was feeling sensual. I was like, hold up, this is like a whole new thing. Like, I was so happy that I was able to get out of that situation. It's just crazy how the crystals helped me do that.
I don't mind you calling me too wild. I know you talk shit cause my aura loud. I know you say that I be all out of pocket, but the truth is I just be rocking my shit, yeah. I'm the type to do just what I want.